Welcome to the Whole Person Parenting Podcast. We're here to have honest conversations about how to follow Jesus and parent kids in a whole person way. For more content and encouragement as we support you on your journey, you can find us on Instagram, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. We're so glad you're here. Now let's jump in. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Whole Person Parenting Podcast, and we are in our final episode of the Are We There Yet series, which is really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
It's been how long is it? How many episodes has the series been?
Honestly, I don't even know how many episodes
At
in the
least
series.
10?
I don't know. Close, probably.
Maybe around there.
8 to 10.
Yeah, so this has been a long series, but it's been great, and we've been walking through the stages of development from wee little baby to now, or well, we're going to be talking about the adult to parent relationship.
Yeah, the adult
which can go on until that person is 50 and 80.
Yeah, or longer.
Or longer. Maybe even 100.
Maybe even
180.
180? I mean, that would be like
180 would be pretty crazy.
It's completely
you
possible.
You had to have the baby at 20.
Yeah, which is not crazy. Yeah.
And then very healthy.
You guys be in for the long haul.
Oh man, yeah. I don't know if I'd want to be 100
and get to
very
similar
to 100.
Place. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I would if I was like well enough.
Yeah.
Just like able-bodied. I don't want to be.
I've seen 100 years of things,
which I think is so cool.
That just sounds exhausting to me. I'm not gonna lie. I'd rather be in heaven with Jesus and
yes, there's that.
Partying it up with him instead of me being senile and
well,
having to be in a wheelchair.
Not all 100-year-olds are senile.
Like most 100-year-olds are either in a wheelchair or they're senile.
I literally just saw what was it on, like a Dateline or something like that? I don't remember. But they were talking about this woman who is a New York jeweler. She has like a jewelry store. She has been, it's like a family business. She's over 100. She works every day. She walks on her own. She is very like with it in her mind. And I say there's a lot of arguments.
Yes, but she's the best of us.
Staying.
Like she's not the example. She's the exception. She's the exception, not the rule. Yes.
Okay. I mean, I'll give you that. But I'm just saying it's possible. And if I could be in that state, why not?
Yeah.
I'd like to see 100 years of history in real life. But anyway, I think we're...
Rest in peace, Betty White.
Oh my
Was she 100?
I don't remember.
She felt ancient. I don't know. She died.
She was kind of always older. But anyway.
We
definitely digress here.
Yeah, but...
I don't know how that happened.
Basically, we're going to be talking about parenting adults. Or do you parent adults anymore?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Or are they their own adult and they're their own parent?
Themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, who knows?
Yes.
That's what we're going to talk about.
Okay. That's what we're going to talk about. Let's do it.
All right. Let's just jump in.
Okay.
So let's set the scene, shall we?
Yes, let's
do it. So there's, someone is 18, has graduated high school, is moving on with the next steps of their lives, maybe moving out of their parents' house.
Maybe
going to college or starting a job.
Yep.
Or
like trying to live independently. Good luck with the prices, but trying to do that. Yeah.
Somehow doing it.
Yep.
Or they're failing and they're still living with their parents. No, I'm just kidding. That's not failing.
I don't think that's failing.
I don't think that's failing. I know I have lots of friends who still live with their parents.
Yeah,
but I'm 19, so I feel like that's reasonable.
It is very reasonable.
Maybe 20. You get older. As the older you get, there's the societal expectation that you should be out of your parents' house and living on your own. And so we're going to just kind of talk through. I think part of it is going to be culturally informed of just like what is the American culture
currently.
What do we expect? I mean, and then also what does God say about like this stage and what does it look like for both the child who's now an adult and the parent?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, so you're talking about that like expectation that when you graduate from high school.
There's supposed to be
now
something.
you're an adult. Now you do something. You make some kind of next step, and that there's this like belief there that means that you're no longer like being parented by your parent, and like for some that's true. And then what does that even mean? Like, does that mean that you don't live with them anymore or not? Because I saw
Is being a parent just living with them?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
And so I think like one of the statistics that I saw, what I was going to say was that like half of, I think it was 18 to 29-year-olds, half of 18 to 29-year-olds in the U.S. still live in their parents' home.
That's insane.
So people are launching later and later.
Yeah.
And I do really wonder
well, because
what
when you
does.
think about, 60, 70 years ago,
mm-hmm.
you were getting married at like maybe 16.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And you're out. You're out before 18.
I think my great-grandmother got married when she was 14.
Yes.
And my grandmother got married, one of them got married, I'm not sure how
your
old.
Mom got
my
married
mom got married at
6.
No.
Oh, no, 18.
She was 18 or 19.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now I would say the common age to get married is 24, 25.
Yeah, even later.
Later.
Yeah.
So it just keeps getting pushed back.
Yeah. Which I really
culturally.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what that.
I don't know necessarily if there's a reason for that. It could just be kind of more of an awareness of, the psychological too of like, okay, these like you're marrying, kids are marrying. That's what we think now. We would think it's unhealthy or strange if someone got married at 14, right?
Yeah.
But then back then they're just thinking, well, her body's ready to start having children, so you got to ship her off.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Maybe our understanding of like readiness for launching has changed. But currently, we're looking at like adulthood, what we call adulthood. So that looks like 18 plus.
Yes.
So this is the season that you're in.
Mm-hmm. I'm in the early stages.
In the early stages of this. So as far as like a lot of things that Presley and I have been able to talk about on this podcast have been related to our own relationship too. Right. We've been able to do that. And so we're going to be able to do that about this much.
Yes, because it's literally what we're currently living. And honestly,
just started.
Yeah. And like honestly, there is like a weird transition out of moving away from college and wanting to call my mom all the time. And now I feel like I'm at a place where I don't need to do that. And I feel comfortable not like having to ask you about what type of, like I remember I got like a sun rash at the beginning of the school year.
Oh yeah.
And I was freaking out and I just only wanted to call you because I didn't know what kind of medicine to take or what to do.
Yeah.
And now I'm someone who can do their own laundry and can do the things that they need to do to live and function, and where I feel like...
For the record, I stopped doing your laundry a while ago.
I know,
before you moved out.
I would wait like 3 weeks to do it.
Yes, I know.
It would pile and pile and pile. And so now I don't like going more than 6 days without doing my laundry.
Yeah.
So it just forced me to grow up. But I think the thing I felt the most when I was leaving, or now that like you, Dad, and Brayden have your own lives here, and I'm not as a part of it, it can feel like, I don't know, there's a bunch of different emotions. It's like part of me knows that you guys are always here to support me, but I'm also like, there is like the expectation within myself of like, I can't just keep going to them for every single little thing, you know?
Yeah.
And almost a resistance in wanting to go to them for help. And so I think it's...
that is? Like, what do you think is the block on that?
I think it's just like, well, I've been with you guys for 18 years. You did what you were supposed to do. You parented me. You loved me. But now I'm supposed to do that myself.
Okay.
You know? And then also, like, Brayden should get that time with you guys. Like, by yourself. And, like... it's not necessarily that I feel like I'm in the way, and I know I'm not, because I know that you guys would never say that, and I don't think you think that, and you don't feel that. But I think there is kind of a thing inside of me that's just kind of like, you've got to, like, you can't keep going to them for everything.
Yeah.
And
I do understand that.
And I think there is, and this is what we were talking about, as well as, like, I feel like there's a gauge or like a spectrum to this with the launching is like, and I feel like you guys have done it really well, where you guys both have, you know, you didn't allow me to like come home every weekend, you know, and just, you made me like stay and be like, you have to make friends and figure out what to do on a weekend, you know, when you, and that was helpful for me because it made me make friends and figure out what I was doing. But I think there's a spectrum to this where either the parents can 100% launch out and they're unwilling to support, like kind of like a baby bird just like thrown out of its nest and then it falls and it's just kind of like, well, you were supposed to have already learned how to fly. Or there's the parents that refuse to let the bird fly and keep them.
They build an adjacent nest.
Yes, they build an adjacent nest.
They just build onto the nest.
Yes, instead of
you can stay here forever.
Yes, and I think the way it should be is like you get thrown out, but if they fall, that bird goes and downs and catches them and comes back up with them, reteaches them how to fly, and keep trying.
Yes, I like this metaphor. I feel like
I don't know why I have this metaphor. I'm really just thinking of Rio with the little blue bird that like falls out of its nest. It always comes back to Rio. But he just fell and he couldn't fly and then he never learned how to fly until he was old adult bird.
Oh my goodness. Bird.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it was because, well, he never had anyone to teach him how to fly, but like also he never tried.
So there's both. There's both the preparation, the follow through, and then the effort on both parties' parts to do their role, like what their role is. And I do think that can change. You know, I think there are different seasons. I was going to say that I do remember having a similar, like having that similar feeling to you. Like I remember, which led me to pawning several things that I regret pawning.
Because you didn't want to
because I did not want to go to my mom for money.
I've had the same. Well, I haven't pawned things, but I've not wanted to go for you guys for money.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you've already.
Well, she sent me money and I still.
And you sent me money too, and I still don't have enough money.
But I didn't. Yeah.
You know, that was kind of the thing. Was like,
it's like for like.
I think
it wasn't enough for me to continue my life as I had. My life
with bougie wanting to go shopping every Saturday. Yes. Or go eat out at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Every 2 days.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
So it's like you can't do that anymore. And being like, that's really my issue to deal with. But I 100% did call my mom for money, you know, for a long time. And if I ever needed money, I'm sure I could, you know, I can call her.
Oh, she would probably still, yeah.
Yeah. So, and
well, and you and your mom 40s. Have a really good relationship, and you're 40.
Yeah.
And 40s, and she's in her 70s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, even I feel like that is another relationship we could use for this because
for sure
I'm the youngest spectrum of it, but you are the older spectrum of it.
Yeah. I'm older. Am I older? I need middle-aged. I'm middle-aged.
I'm saying out of the spectrum. The spectrum starts at 18, goes to like
this is true.
80.
Okay.
You're in the
I've been doing this for quite some time. Yes. I've been doing this for a good chunk of time.
Yes.
So
and you've had to be married, but yet still, you know,
connected.
Have your mom.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, and I won't say that, like, I think that we've done a pretty good job, and I think my mom's done a good job. But I also think that there's like no perfect situation, you know, and no perfect looking relationship because we're all just people. But I think the biggest thing is that, are you willing to stay committed to the relationship? Are you willing to work through the issues? And I think that's always the most important piece of it. But it does change because there's a need for mutuality there that has not been present. Right. And so there's a shift away from like my role to the adult child is to parent them or provide for them or guide them or step in. And now you're not doing that. Now you have to wait for them to ask you if you want to. And I will say that.
Would you say that's the case in everything? Would you say that you never have to step in?
I mean, they're autonomous. I mean, as you get to be older, now me thinking about you as a 19-year-old is probably going to look different than when you're, 30.
Right.
Right. And when you have, a family of your own, when you're married, you have someone else.
And that person now looks after you.
Yeah. And I'm not saying stepping in doesn't look like, hey, I've noticed X, Y, or Z.
And
are you needing some help?
Yeah. Right.
That's not taking over.
Versus coming into their house, doing all their dishes, and leaving like you're a secret superhero, that came in and...
Yeah. Which I think
a little
people totally do.
Yeah, which is just a lot.
I don't want to be anybody's cleaning elf.
I don't want to be. I don't want you.
I don't
want
to be my own cleaning elf.
Yeah. Well, I don't know why this movie's coming to mind, but I'm thinking of Beautiful Boy, which is genuinely the saddest movie ever. But it's
where he's got a substance use disorder.
He's got a substance abuse problem, and
yeah.
I'm not saying that's the extreme side of it.
Yeah.
But you see, like, just. There's probably a lot of adult parents or parents of adults that don't agree with their kids' way of life.
Yeah, or it's like dangerous, like in that situation where you're like killing yourself over this.
Yes. And however, extreme side of it, extremity is a word, but I don't think I use it correctly.
It's more like an arm.
Extreme side of it is like the parent can completely disown the kid, being like, this isn't how I raised you.
Yeah.
You're screwing your life up. I'm not going to be a part of it anymore.
Yeah.
Or there's the complete endorsement of it. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's just so many spectrums
there
to this.
Are. Well, I will say with the substance use, when you've got substance use or any kind of like wild,
but
like off the wall.
The dad tries in Beautiful Boy for a really long time.
He does, but not until he stops intervening does the kid able to do it himself. Yeah. Right. Because although that's like an effort to keep them alive, which, I mean, to try to combat the impulse to keep someone you love alive is horrific. Yeah. I mean, that's a terrible place to be at. Very, very complicated, very difficult. But when you, and if they're a child, that's one thing. Yes, you have to do that because you're the parent and they are, they're minors, but when they get to be older, it actually can become a barrier to them getting what they need, which I know this is like, we could talk about this on another episode. I think we probably should talk about the substance use issues in families and parenting. But as in a general sense, yeah, it is like, I'm not here to intervene on your behalf, like in any kind of intrusive way. And if you are not taking your own steps, then I'm not going to intervene, even when, maybe being like, this is the boundary. Like, I'm not here to make your life the same as it was when you were living in my house. Right. I'm not here to like keep up your lifestyle. Yeah. I'm here to support you as you support yourself. And as long as that's happening, I think this is where this shifts is like, as long as this happens, as long as you're doing this as an adult, then as you're growing and aging, I'm less inclined to even ask, do you, I've noticed X, Y, or Z, unless it's like, seems like it's something dangerous or, really, really difficult. So one of the things I think that parents need to be cautious of, when you're dealing with your adult children is that understanding that, you just offering what your thoughts are, offering your advice, whenever it has not been solicited, when your opinion hasn't been asked, it could come off as a criticism. It could come off as like, you're not doing a good enough job at whatever it is that I need to step in and tell you what to do. And allow for kids to ask you and like create the gap. One of the things I was just thinking about, like one of the things that can happen, and it can happen in both directions. So you can have kids who are feeling over responsible for their parent,
Right.
as especially with aging parents. They're feeling over responsible, and they may see their aging parent not taking care of themselves, not doing what they're supposed to do
And then they're like,
for
we
themselves.
need to become the parent, basically.
Yeah, yes, and that's very common, like for you to feel like you're needing to step into this parental role. And at the same time, conversely, you could have the child still depending on the parent like they always have, like to the same degree. And the issue is that when either party is closing in the gap too much, like, so imagine like there's this like relational gap. What we want to see happening is that you're moving together, right? Simultaneously.
Towards
and
the center.
you're meeting in the middle
Meeting in the
here.
middle, yeah.
So this is what mutuality is like. But whenever you're covering too much of that in one way or the other, whether you're the child covering too much to the parent or parent too much to the child, then you don't have a space for mutuality to happen.
Right.
And then you are always, whoever's in that role is often always covering the distance. And so creating the gap allows you to see, okay, we are going to come together. Okay, we are committed into relationship.
Yes.
And I don't have to make that happen in either direction.
And there is like kind of a push and pull, because you had talked about that there were times in your life where you were living with your mom or your aunt and uncle because you needed that extra support of like, I need some time to grow financially.
Yes.
And there was like a push and pull, because in that scenario, they are more in the middle than you are, and you're doing less.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And I definitely, I didn't take, I took advantage of that. I remember, I wasn't thinking I was taking advantage of it at the time, but I think it was so soon after I had launched that it was kind of like comforting and reassuring to be like, I don't have to worry about anything. And like, I don't have these bills. And so then I'm just going to spend money on shopping, stupid stuff. Yeah. And, or eating out or whatever. And whatever I really should have been saving. And that could be, really irritating for the parent who's like offering you the place to live.
Yeah. Because you're like, well, I'm offering you this place to live, but it doesn't really feel like you're taking
advantage
the time
of it
that
in
you're
the way
supposed
you
to be.
need to. Yeah. And so, but then, I needed to come to that realization of like, and I think that my mom kind of put a little bit of pressure. Like, I think she asked me, and I felt kind of offended at the time, but she asked me about like when we were going to be like leaving and
so
or like what was, something like that. And I don't even know that she really even meant it in any kind of way that
and this
was
is when you'd already had me,
intentionally. Yes.
So there's 2 kids in addition to you.
We were trying to finish. Yeah. And we were trying to finish.
We were trying to finish. Okay. That's right.
And so, cause
and you were building our house.
Yes. And so it was, but no, I think whatever it was, she said something like, and I felt kind of offended a little bit, and then, or like, how much money have you saved, or something along those lines. And
definitely
I was like,
a prodding at like,
yeah. And then I was like, oh no, I've got to do better. And it was good. I needed, and at that point,
like a wake up call. Kind of.
I was depending on her more than I, not that I should, I'm not going to say should have been. I'm just saying I was depending on her more like a parent. And so then that gave her space to ask me that question.
Yes. And so if you're asking your parent to come in and
help you,
then they have the right to treat you more like a parent.
Yes, they do.
Than an equal.
Than a peer. And so like there is, now I think that it's not fair when parents use that, will offer help and then be like, now I get to say whatever I want to about your life and I get to dictate everything. And, I think that can go to an extreme, and that's not helpful. Yeah. In the relationship. But it was, I feel like she did that kind of a right time. That was helpful in like let me remind you of how to fly kind of way. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, and then, yeah. And I was offended like I was a kid, even though I wasn't. I was full adult, but I wasn't fully adulting.
Yeah, right. Yes, I get what you're saying.
Anyway, I think but you want to, you want to, if you really are both kind of, if you really are independent, you really are on your own, you do want to have a relationship of mutuality. There shouldn't, and it may be push and pull. Like there may be times, like if my mom was sick or like, having surgery or something like that, then I have a little more of the responsibility than I have other times. And same way with me.
If you were going through something, then she might have more.
Right.
But in the normal day-to-day, it should be
and I remember
in the middle.
I had an accident when I was in my mid-20s and got injured pretty badly, and I was in another state, and my mom drove like probably way too fast to get there. And she was there in like 4 hours. It should have been like 6. But she drove insane. Like basically all night to try to get there. And, I didn't have to ask her for that.
No, she just knew.
She knew that she needed to help me.
Yeah.
And I did need her help. And I didn't have to ask for that. So, but that's not, I feel like that's where she becomes like someone that I can like really depend on, lean on, and like a confidant.
Because I think too, it's not like the last 18 years just disappeared.
No, we have a relationship.
You have a relationship. It's not just like they become an adult and everything changes.
No, and that relationship can grow.
You still have the memories.
Yeah.
You still have your jokes.
Yeah.
You still talk like one another.
Yeah.
You have the same tendencies. Like,
yeah.
It's easy to forget that these are the people who made you and formed you.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
That
and they do have a special place in your life. They can.
They should.
But it has to be, appropriate, and it has to be like mutual, and it needs to be unifying.
Yeah. And I have a lot of friends who love their parents, and that they, like, I would say that their relationship is a lot like ours, like they do it well, like the adult to parent thing. But I also have a lot of friends that are like, oh, I couldn't wait to get out of there because I didn't like my parents. Like I just didn't like them.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that can tie into all the things that we've already talked about in episodes, and just being like, if your child doesn't like you, like, I'm not saying there's a reason for it, but like, what's the,
what are there things that you need
are there things that
to
they're
address?
Doing? Do you feel like they feel like you're constantly breathing down their neck, or there's a reason that they don't want to be there because
you haven't been there for them in a way that you needed to.
Maybe it's not a good environment.
Yeah, I will say though that I don't think it's too late. I think that there are definitely a lot of, I mean, there are things that can be missed opportunities, and again, there's no perfect people, so there's no perfect parents. Like, and we all have
I'm sure we've gotten into some sort of argument.
Yeah,
at some point this year, just being like, I would feel like you're overstepping.
Yeah.
And you're probably not really, but then I'm just like, feeling like you're not respecting my independence, or I don't even remember. I'm pretty sure we had some sort of conversation like
something
that. Something
like that.
But
yeah,
it's not like we're perfect, but
no. But I will say that, like, even if it hasn't gone well in those earlier years, like if you notice, like, okay, now this adult relationship is not going as well as I was hoping it would, examine your relationship, like examine your history in your life with your kids, and think about, like, is there something that is like a blockade that I need to address with my child? Do I need to make some amends? Do I need to, come to them from as a brother or sister in Christ, where I'm sharing with them like where I think the fault was on my, that, and if there is a rift in our relationship, that we need to address it so that we can be unified and back in unity. Because if we are both believers too, then we are that. And there was a
brother and sister Christ.
Yeah,
we are sisters in Christ.
Yeah, there was our pastor this morning. He said that. He said God doesn't have any grandchildren. And I just thought I've never heard anybody say that before.
Yeah.
And I've never thought about that before. But like, God is, I think of God as Father. But that doesn't
think of God as Father.
Yeah. It doesn't mean that Presley's got God as her grandfather.
Yes.
Yeah. No, he's her father, because we are, co-heirs with Jesus, and he is our Father. And so that relationship really needs to look more closer to what that relationship, you know, through the church and through as us as the body of Christ, once there's been, you know, full development,
right,
and growth.
Yeah.
So,
and I think what you were talking about earlier too, I thought was really cool, is like, also if you're wanting, you know, relationship, sometimes it's really easy for you to want them to come back into your world,
yeah,
and forgetting that they, like, I've already created, like, for me, like, I have a whole nother life at my school. But I love inviting you guys into that. Like, like some of my favorite things this year was when my dad and my brother came and watched me play intramural basketball, and got to, like, just see what my life is like, you know, and you guys getting to come and see my dorm and things like that. Like, I really enjoy that. And it's not like I don't love being home.
and I like seeing that
but
too.
that's me entering back into your world. And I think it's really cool sometimes, is like, maybe if you're feeling like you're struggling to find relationship or even things in common, like, maybe it's because you don't know their world anymore as well as you once did, you know, because previously you would see them every day.
Right.
But if you don't know their world, it is going to be harder to find things in common with them, because you're not just in common about, like, what food we're both eating for dinner. We're both eating the same food. But instead, like, they're living in different places, and I really enjoyed getting to share that with you guys, because it was cool to me to get to see
it too.
Like, this is
but
is
you
my
also
world.
allowed that too. It wasn't. I mean, we didn't intrude on that. You asked.
No, I always
these
wanted
things.
To. Yeah, they never just showed up to RSU and were like, surprise.
No,
which would have been fine probably, but I mean, if you do that every week, that's gonna get a little like, what are you doing?
No,
like, I have my schedule.
No,
I have my
we never
things.
ever have showed up unannounced.
No. So I mean, I just thought that would be good to say too, because there are two different worlds now, but, like, God always designed, like, he's in our world and we are in his, like, even like the spiritual and unspiritual world.
Invite him
like,
in.
Yeah, you have to invite him in.
He doesn't intrude, which is it's we have to ask for him, and you know, if we have to ask
he's a
for
very
God,
gentleman of a God.
Yeah, he's very
he's going to
gentle. Yeah,
he is he's a gentleman. He's not going to force his way in.
Nope. Yeah,
he's just going to open the car
door.
It's a good picture
of what we can do with our kids, is that, you know, and with our parents too. Like, you know, do you need to invite your parent into your world a little bit more? Is that, you know, if that's safe, if that's a good idea, then I'll do that. And if there's and then also, are you taking up too much of the gap, you know? And
are you taking too much of the gap?
Allow for some mutuality to happen.
I'm going to just read some scripture just to remind everyone that what the Word of God says too is like, this was God's design. This isn't even just like an American way of doing it. Is that it's literally biblical? Because it says in Ephesians 5, it says verse 31. It says, "Therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one. And this mystery is profound, and I am saying that it refers to Christ and the church. However, let each of you love his wife as himself, and let the wife see that she respects her husband." So it's talking about, you know, marriage, but in it is so explicitly like, you were never designed to still be living with your parents forever or to stay
with them.
Yeah, it says that the man is supposed to leave the mother and father, you know, and then even in, you know, growing up, Paul talks about how, and this is partly talking about the spiritual walk of becoming a disciple and letting yourself be refined by the Lord, and sanctified,
which is the developmental process.
So it comes back to that. But he explicitly refers it to the developmental process almost, which is really cool, because it says, "When I was a child, I spoke like a child." This is 1 Corinthians 13. "When I was a child, I spoke like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. But when I became a man, I gave up childish ways. For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I have been fully known." So it's kind of just like this idea of like, since we are fully known by God, like, we should be able to grow up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like I could get beyond where I know in part eventually.
Yeah.
Like as I grow in my faith and in my walk, then there's room.
Yeah, for sure.
For development.
Yeah, there is a gap.
Yeah.
But the gap isn't a bad thing. It's a gap isn't of a distance between one person and another person. It's a gap that's meant to
bring you together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
very cool. All right.
Yeah. So well, I'm sure we'll be coming back to this conversation, especially with like substance abuse and like this is whole person parenting. So
we're talking about parenting stuff.
Yeah, but also I feel like pretty soon we'll probably drop a question box in our Instagram, and you guys can submit any questions that you have, because we do want to hear like what your guys' want for content is, what your guys' needs are.
Yeah.
So look out for that coming soon. You can follow us on Instagram at Whole Person Parenting, or watch our YouTube, which is also Whole Person Parenting. But you could leave a comment on our YouTube videos if you had questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
it's been
this has been Are We There Yet? Our first series.
It has been a journey.
It has been a journey.
A journey of development.
A journey of development.
It's been good. Yeah.
And an Ice Cube movie.
We're at full circle
comes
moment.
Back to the ice cube. I swear. What's his name? Ice Cube. Yes. Oh, it's so funny.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Man. All right.
But yeah, thank you guys for listening.
Thank you. We will see you soon.
See you soon. Bye.